Yeah, better get my notes.
You made notes.
Yeah. Can everybody hear me over there? Okay. I just, I was thinking while I was sitting there about, there's a number of emotions that are going through my soul really at the moment. And, I think I could just say this, there's four things. I'm honored, I'm humbled, I'm overwhelmed, and I'm blessed. And I want to say that, but before I get into those things, I just want to say to my mom, who is here, my mom looks pretty good for 88 years old. And for obvious reasons, she's the love of my life. And my son Alex, who's my younger son, is sitting right
The good
beside
son.
her. Yeah, the good son.
The son that showed up.
He's only saying that because they're taking some video here to say that his older brother lives in England and can't be here. But so those are the sort of two ends of the loves of my life, I guess. But I just wanted to say something about what Andrew said. First of all, there were quite a few people at that mountain. And I have a little bit of a story to tell about that too. Jay's uncle is a very interesting guy because not only did he play with Mountain, he played with Jack Bruce, who was the bass player for Cream, like all the Cream heads. Leslie West is the guitarist for Mountain. And what struck me as really interesting that night was that Leslie West walked out onto the Commodore stage, and frankly, he looks just like my mom. His hair is... Anybody who knows anything about Leslie West would know that he was about a 300 or 400 pound guy when when they were in their prime. They were at Woodstock, for God's sakes. These guys were like big time people. Corky Lang wasn't at Woodstock, but the band was. And he used to be this great big fat guy, Leslie West. And he walks out on stage, and he had this stack of Marshall amplifiers behind him, and this kind of goofy guitar that he had. And he walked out, and he played just a few notes on that guitar that were so heavy. It was such rock, God sort of stuff. I mean, we're talking like Woodstock kind of stuff. That it was bouncing off the back of the Commodore. It's like, it just, it was unbelievable for this little old man who lost all the weight, had bad legs, But the real story that I wanted to tell is that Jay took us to meet his uncle after. And Corky Lang and my older son Jeff and Jay and I got to go have a bite to eat. Well, what did we have? We had a burger, right? And as we were walking down the street towards Corky's hotel building, we ran into a bunch of roadies and a guy named Richie Scarlett who played bass for Mountain. And Richie Scarlett kind of looked like Alice Cooper. It's probably the best description. And they were kind of coming forward towards us, and we walked up to them. And Jay hadn't yet joined the Picton team. And so we were standing there, and Corky Lang starts talking to Richie Scarlett, and they were all going to the porn shop or something. I don't know where they were going, but So Jeff, my son, is standing there with me. And Corky Lang says to Richie Scarlett, "You know that pig farmer case?" And Richie Scarlett looks at him and goes, "Yeah, I was just reading about that in the New York Post yesterday." Right? And he looks at him and he goes, "He's prosecuting them." And my son, Jeff, was looking like, Here's the guy who's been to Woodstock, the guy that looks like Alice Cooper, this famous, rock band, talking about my dad, right, who was in the New York Post the day before. Oh, yeah, really? It was very neat, and such a pleasure when Jay was able to join us after that, so I'm sure that Corey Lang is very proud of Jay. Okay, so I'll just go back to I want to be serious for just a couple of minutes. You're all a bunch of liars. Or just wrong, sadly mistaken about many things. First, I just have to clear it for the record because everybody, I keep hearing this over and over again. Oh, he's got a photographic memory. I don't have a photographic memory. I've never had a photographic memory. I don't have an eidetic, or whatever they call it, memory. Yeah, I don't have that. I have a good memory.
Just have a hard drive.
I have a good memory, and, anyway. And all those files that I used to take home, Melissa, I'd look at them once and never look at them again. That's basically what happened. I just look at them. I'm sorry, I didn't tell you that. That's just the way it worked. So I'm glad we clarified that because a photographic memory makes it sound too easy about what we do. And that takes me to the first comment that I wanted to make. First of all, I'm honored because there are so many wonderful people in this room that I've worked with over the years. And I've received emails and other communications from other people just expressing their best wishes for me and hoping that my retirement will be special and et cetera, et cetera. And I think most of you who know me reasonably well know that I hadn't planned on retiring. That wasn't my goal. I had my health issues, which by the way are fine for all of you that keep asking. I'm completely fine, but last September I did have a heart attack. So the doctors had said to me, look, stop doing this kind of work. And I finally decided to take a doctor's advice. One of the few times in my life. And so I went early and, quite honestly, unlike some of the other people like Sanford, Bob Bonner, some of the others that have retired and come back and done a little bit of, I don't plan on doing that. I'm happy. I realized how happy I am, after I got out. But it's different. So I'm honored by the fact that so many people would express such nice sentiments about me and come out to an event like this. I really didn't expect it. I'm also humbled, and I'm humbled because not only are some of the smartest people in the province sitting in this room tonight, but for another reason, and it's a very important reason to me. Everybody that's in here has some connection, other than my family, has some connection with the justice system. And I was thinking the other day that we hear a lot about heroes, and often, policemen, firemen, et cetera, they put themselves in physical danger all the time for us. But you know what? The people in this room are all social heroes as far as I'm concerned. They're just as heroic because every day they put themselves out to protect our values, our legal system, protect the victims of crime, and give their all. And I'm just humbled that I am able to say that for 34 years, who would have thought that I'd been here that long? Bader only saw me 3 or 4 times. Apparently. Although I have heard some stories about him. Anyway, yeah, it would have been 30, this I guess was my 35th year. And You know, so it's not like I didn't have a long enough time at it, but my retirement sort of came a little bit earlier than I had expected. And I am just so grateful to have been included in the number of big brains and big hearts that are in this room. And just want to encourage everybody to remember that every time they walk into court, that somebody out there is relying on them. Somebody out there, it matters to somebody out there much more than it probably matters to any one of us. And I remember a comment that Victor Borge, the musician, Danish comedian, made years ago, that in your audience, he told this story after finding out that somebody had essentially gone through hell to get from Prince George to a concert in Vancouver. And he said to the reporter, when asked about that, he said, "You see, it's like that every night. Somebody has gone through hell to get there to see you. So you have to give it your all." Well, in our business, somebody has always been devastatingly affected by some criminal action. And they deserve to have the best that we can give. I'm overwhelmed because there are actually people here that I honestly did not, for the life of me, expect to see. We have Stan Lowe here, Police Complaints Commissioner. We have two of the best officers I've ever worked with from Picton, Don Adam and Ward Limber. We have Daryl Private, who's come over from the island. Catherine Murray, who I didn't know that well, but took over for a position I was doing on the Surrey 6 for a while. I am just overwhelmed by the graciousness of the people that are gathered here tonight to make this very special for me. And I can say, in all honesty, I am truly overwhelmed by the guests. And I hope that I'll be able to prove my worth to you by playing something really good sometime. Not tonight. I'll try and record it. I'll just send it out to you.
YouTube is where it didn't happen.
And then finally, you know, why am I blessed? Well, I am blessed. I've been lucky. I grew up, as you know from what Peter was saying, on the east side of Vancouver, and in the housing project. Most of you know that story. We had a good life, but it wasn't an ostentatious life at all, and that's probably why I'm content with simpler things. But having said that, I did grow up in a place where you were able to get to know people, and you had to get to know people quickly, and well, in order to basically to survive. But what I'm really lucky about is that I had parents. My mom is still here, but my dad isn't. But they encouraged me to continue with my education, to go to university, to do whatever I could do. And it was hard. It was very difficult. They didn't have a lot of money, but they maintained me at home for as long as they could possibly do it. And between you know, student loans and working, I was able to continue on. Quite frankly, I didn't think I would ever be a lawyer. I thought that I would be I don't know, maybe working with Bruce Allen or something. You know, I really didn't think that I was going to be practicing law. And so here I go off on this legal career, and you know, when you think about it, here's this kid who doesn't know anything about anything, who's in university, never having met anybody who'd ever been to university, I don't think. You know, and I'm then going to law school, and then having two wonderful, you know, getting married, having two wonderful kids, and all of that, and then moving here, and being handed this amazingly big case that's historic in Canadian legal history? Come on. Getting a QC? Come on. You know, what's not to be blessed about? You know, and I've also been, you know, a very fortunate guy. Some of my favorite women are in this room tonight, and there's a lot of them, so I'm not gonna name them all, but you know, one thing that really makes me feel blessed is that there are former girlfriends in this room who still love me and care about me enough to come and be a part of my big night. They know they're there. And then the current table here, you know. Anyway, I guess all I'm really saying is that, you know, I have always liked people, and I've always wanted people to like and appreciate me. And I'm feeling a little bit nervous, and that's really odd, isn't it? You know, that I would be nervous. I wouldn't think I would be. I'm such a blabbermouth person. But that so many people who care about me and prove that to me constantly is like another blessing. You know, thank God for all of you, my family, and I thank you for this evening. I will never forget it. And like I said, maybe I can justify it by writing, I don't know, Stairway to Heaven's already gone. Apparently twice. Apparently Jimmy Page stole it from somebody else, so I don't know. Maybe I'll steal something from Jimmy Page. What's he gonna do? He's a good big lawyer. Anyway, I'll do something that maybe will make you all proud in some other way. Thank you again.